Well, it looks like it's finally gotten to the point where Mightykeef is starting to get called out by other YouTubers yet again. Apparently, we have an article here from Fandom Pulse with a headline that reads, YouTuber Kangmin Lee calls out Mightykeef for his desire to off Nazis and use Indiana Jones as a shield for his bloodlust. Now, Mightykeef, let me make something very clear at the beginning of this video regarding Mightykeef before we continue on to whatever else that happened between him and Kangmin Lee. The reason why I stopped talking about Mightykeef and all these other people listening to content and everything, because they are the literal actual grifters. They are the ones who don't actually care about anything they say they care about on Twitter, because what they're doing is, since their YouTube platforms are dead, they're trying to utilize Twitter or X as a platform in order to make money, which is why they put out the most ridiculous, stupid, rage bait things they possibly can on X, because it's less policed, number one, obviously, and number two, it's going to make them more money than they would if they were to do it on YouTube, because number one, their YouTube accounts not really making them much money, and number two, they have much bigger followings on X that they can utilize with rage bait in order to try to garner as many impressions as humanly possible and engagement over there, which is why, again, he makes the most ridiculous posts that I've ever seen in my entire life. Well, apparently, Kangmin Lee has now called out Mightykeef for his desire to off Nazis, because, you know, what they mean by actual Nazis, and using Indiana Jones as a shield for it.
For a modern gaming audience.
So let's get into this article, guys, from Fandom Pulse. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. So it says, Kangmin Lee called out Mightykeef and condemned him for attempting to hide his bloodthirsty agenda behind the Indiana Jones and the Golden Circle video game. On X, Mightykeef wrote, I can't wait to play Indiana Jones and off Nazis, because Nazis suck and should be killed. Now, again, guys, looking at the post as what it is, right? What they're always going to try to do is to try to pretend as if they're not saying something that they're totally saying, right? This is what they do, right? They're like, oh, I never said that. All I said was that I want to off Nazis. That's it. What's so bad about wanting to off Nazis? It's you who doesn't understand, right? It's you are the one who are attaching yourself to this. You know, it's kind of amazing how the people who claim to be amazing at media literacy are the ones who will get angry at you immediately if you try to actually understand the hidden messages and what they say all the time, because it's not hard to understand. It's very easy, actually, to understand, especially when you look at their previous posts where he calls all right-wingers, or basically anybody who disagrees with him, because that's really what it is. Anybody who disagrees with Mightykeef is immediately a right-wing grifter, right-wing Nazi, right-wing whatever. That's what he always does. That's what he says. That's what people like him always say. So it's not a far-fetched thing to say, oh, you want to off Nazis? Gee, I wonder what you're really trying to say with that. Then he says that, to be clear, Nazi is a pejorative used by left-wing ideologues in an attempt to character assassinate their opponents and increasingly call for violence against people they disagree with. Even the top definition of Nazi in Urban Dictionary is anyone who disagrees with you on Facebook. That's actually kind of funny. That's pretty funny. Another definition states a person who has a different opinion than you. Facts. These are all very true. Very true. Given this, it is quite safe to argue that Mightykeef was clearly making the post to not only stir the pot, which, again, this is what it's really about, right? Take all the politics out of it. This is what it's really about. Stir the pot. They want to stir the pot over on X because they make money off of it. They are actually monetized on X, and they know that they will make money off of it. I, unfortunately, am not monetized on X, and I still partake in the nonsense because I thoroughly enjoy it. But these people, they wouldn't do it unless they were paid for it. Truthfully, or they would go run away to Blue Sky. But to indeed encourage violence against those he disagreed with ideologically. Kangmin Lee recognized this and called them out on X, and he says, we should kill Nazis. Everyone calls everyone to disagree with the Nazi. Convenient to call everyone a Nazi so you have no qualms calling for violence against them, huh? And then to elucidate his point, he shared his post from a leftist ideologue and Antifa advocate airbag, a.k.a. David Paul Rivera, who was arrested back in 2020 for malicious injury to personal property during a Black Lives Matter riot in Charleston, South Carolina. Now, again, this guy, I don't even bother making videos that even reference him, really, aside from this article that references him, but I don't even care, because this is another one, right? This is another grifter that's on X that openly talks about how much money he makes from rage baiting, and his entire persona on X is to try to make as much money as he can, while acting like a total edgelord, which is amazing because he'll call people like me edgelords. He'll call everybody like you edgelords, but he's the one that literally does it on Twitter all the time and makes money from it. Then it says that Lee posted, remember, these people on the side of love and tolerance, they are the ones fighting against hate as they actively fantasize about offing normal people like us. Now, again, this is the rage bait kind of stuff that we talk about when it comes to Airbag, where they just post a bunch of memes and GIFs about essentially offing grums because that's their true fantasy, because they're psychopaths, right? Like if they could, they would, but they can't, so they won't. You know what I mean? Like they're not going to even come close to doing something like this because number one, they don't have the balls. Number two, they don't have the funds. And number three, they don't have the balls. They just don't. To no surprise, Keef responded by playing dumb, something he is wants to do. Case in point, just 2 weeks ago, he shared a meme with Captain America on it that reads, "I want you to punch Nazis, punch every goddamn one of them." And again, it's very clear what he means by this, and he'll try to gaslight you and say, oh, that's not what I mean. I was just talking about actual Nazis. Yeah, sure you were. Sure you were. You were talking about actual Nazis that don't exist anymore? Yeah, sure. Okay. When one user noted he's likely talking about Trump supporters, Keef denied it. Of course he did. However, he never explained what he meant by Nazis. Of course he won't. Because we know what he means, right? We know what he means. He knows what he means. And he tries to sit there and gaslight people because he thinks he's so intellectually smart. He thinks he's one of these guys that is the smartest person in the room. Him and Booty Adams are the same exact two people. One just has hair and the other doesn't, right? They swear that they are the smartest people in the room. They swear that everybody else is beneath them. But at the end of the day, they're just so easy to pick apart. It's ridiculous. So then it seems obvious that Keef is trying to be slick by playing word games, of course. But for those who have eyes to see, it is abundantly clear who and what he means, especially given how the term is used today, as evidenced by the Urban Dictionary definitions above. Nevertheless, Keef acted similarly in responding to Lee's rebuke of him. In reaction to a post from Airbag stating, "I'm losing it," Keef wrote, "Him getting upset about this tweet is all you need to know." So exactly. So he's trying to get it to the point where he knows this is going to trigger a certain group of people to respond. And then when they respond, he's going to say, "Oh, why are you responding? I guess you must think you're a Nazi, huh? Yes. Look how clever I am. I got you. I got you to respond and admit that you're not." This guy's an idiot, man. He really is. This is what happens when you have a failed YouTube channel and you don't work at it. This is what happens when you have 600 some odd thousand subscribers and like 1/20th of them watch your content. This is what happens when you average less daily views than a channel with 50,000 subscribers by a large margin. This is what happens right here. You end up doing dumb stuff like this on X and pretend like you're so damn smarter than everyone else when we all are just laughing at you at the end of the day. The only people that are on your side are psychopaths like this that want to pretend like they're going to kill someone when at the end of the day we know they don't have the balls to even leave their house, let alone actually perform the job. So then, not hiding his bloodlust, he was also asked what hammer would Kangmin get, a clear allusion to the fact that he wants to beat him with a hammer, which again, we've seen this time and time again with Kangmin. We've seen it with Grums. We've seen it with everybody. So at the end of the day, when it comes to Mightykeef, this guy is just going to be a typical loser on X that is going to do everything he can to try to farm that engagement to make as much money as he possibly can on X. He accuses everybody of doing that when at the end of the day, he himself is doing it. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it if you could like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.